Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Thursday evening Facebook Live. My name is Sarah Edwards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I come to you guys live every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 to show you a fun new project. So hopefully you guys had a great day. I did. I had some amazing friends in the studio today. I have not had anybody over since the October retreat, and that was the first 2 weekends in October. Just with everything going on in my life, I couldn't schedule anything. And I'm finally able to get some friends back in. So it was a great day chatting and laughing about the wedding things that happened. So it was a really nice, relaxing day for me. And I was able to get some of the gifts made for the upcoming gift card class. Everybody who attends or gets it to go gets a Christmas gift from me. So I was able to prep some of those. So if you were here, you did get to see what it was. But if you weren't, it's still super fun and you guys will definitely be excited for it. Good evening, Heather. Welcome. So a few weeks ago, actually probably a few months ago, I bought this computer table off of Marketplace thinking it would work for something that I needed it for, but in reality it didn't work out and it was only like $20. It was very inexpensive and I was like, I wonder how I can use it in my craft room and keep it in here. So hopefully I don't make you guys dizzy, but I want to show you. So I'm going to step back to the side. So this little spot right here is really all I have to do my Facebook Lives where I put things. And now I have a nice table beside me where I don't have to cram everything up there. And you know how when I say, I hope it doesn't fall, that's why, because I don't have a very big work surface to the left of me. And it's usually a mess to the right of me, so I can't really use that. But actually, it's not too tragic right now because I really cleaned and I dusted my craft room for today's class. So anyway, that is what was going on in my studio today. Hopefully you guys got a little bit of crafting done. If not, maybe today's card will inspire you. So if you're just logging on, say hi so I know you're here. And I am going to go ahead and point you over and we are going to get started because there's a few things that I want to show you. So today's project that I'm using, I am doing the online exclusives. So I brought in my iPad and I wanted to show you how you can get to them to see what all the online stuff is. So I'm on the Stampin' Up! Website right now and I don't want to connect. If you go up to the little three lines up in the left corner, you can click on online exclusives and it's actually already up, so it will obviously populate. But these are all of the new products that are available as of yesterday or the day before, whatever the 7th is. I honestly don't even know what day it is. But the glimmer paper is absolutely stunning. I've seen it in person. I have not gotten it, but I am super excited to get it in my next order. But the new Simply Sparkling bundle is so cute. I think that just arrived today. The Garden Meadows die is what we're going to be playing with today. It's actually this suite right here. The suite itself you can't get because we're out of the little gems, but you can still get the designer series paper, the stamp set, the dies, and the ribbon. I did use the ribbon a couple weeks ago when I pulled out the center. I think I showed everybody that. So that is what we're going to be playing with. That's the bundle right there. So that's how you get to the online exclusives. You click on the little link and then click on online exclusives and it will populate everything that you can just get online that is not in a catalog. So I wanted to show you guys that really quick. Now I can flip over to Facebook to make sure I'm live and so I can see who is logging in. So just give me a second. Let me switch over all of my stuff. There we go. Perfect. We are good to go. So today's project, sorry if you heard that, here is the designer series paper. The paper itself is so gorgeous. Really, it is a standalone paper. You could use this with a very tiny sentiment. That is actually what we're going to be doing today. I didn't want to take away from how beautiful the paper is, so that's why I just did a little smidgen of a sentiment. And the opposite sides are just as gorgeous. So if you haven't seen these in person yet, I highly, highly recommend it. Absolutely gorgeous colors. And on the back of the little sheet that's inside gives you all of the colors. I would read it, but there's a ton of colors. So that's the paper we're using. Let me set that to the side. Let me bring in the stamp set and the dies. So this great big die, I haven't labeled it yet, so I will probably in the next couple days. This cuts out a window in your card. It is so pretty. I haven't played with it yet, but I've seen so many things with it. And the stamp sets we're going to do, or the sentiments, I'm going to do the happy birthday. And I really don't ever stamp on the inside, but I'm going to use, I can't imagine having a better friend on the inside. So those are the two sentiments I'm using from it. And let me show you the card before we get going. So here's the card we're going to be doing. It's a fun fold, and I did put a little mini Velcro dot on the edge of it just so it closed. But that is what I'm going to show you guys how to make, and it's so fun and so easy. You do need one full sheet of cardstock to make this card. So we're going to make it from scratch. Usually I pre-cut everything, but this time I want to do it from start to finish so you guys can see it. So you're going to bring in your paper trimmer, and I have a piece of fresh freesia, and this is 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to slide this in, and I'm going to cut it at 5.5. We are going to use this piece, so I'm going to set it aside, and then I'm going to cut this at 6.5. So 5.5 by 6.5. This piece you can just put in your scrap pile because we're not going to use it right now, but it's definitely big enough to keep. But these are the two pieces we're going to need. I am going to bring in my scoring tool a couple different times and my trimmer because I want to do this step by step. So this is our piece that we cut at 6.5 by 5.5. So I'm going to put this 6.5 inch side up at the top, and I'm going to score this at 4.25. There we go. So now here is our opening for our card. So it's still going to be 5.5 by 4.25 once we get this all put together. So there's that. I'm going to set this aside. And you're going to want to pick out whatever designer series paper you want. If you're going to use this side, I would add some of these colors versus the fresh freesia or Highland Heather. I can't remember which one I grabbed. I think it's Highland Heather. I pulled this one out because of the purple in kind of like the horizon. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer again, and I'm going to cut this at 2 inches. And I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to cut it at 5.25. So this piece we are not going to use, this little tiny piece. You can save it for a sentiment if you want, or you can pitch it. But this piece we are going to use. So I think that's all the cutting we need. So let's bring in the dies. I brought in the deckled circle dies, and I am going to be using the 3rd and 4th largest. So usually I go from the center out, but there's so many of them I didn't want to count. So this time I'm going to go from the outside in. So we're going to grab the 3rd and the 4th largest. So there's these, and we're going to start with the largest of the two. So that would be this outside piece. I'm going to set these two aside and bring in this other half of our cardstock, and I'm going to cut this. So I'm going to bring in my embossing machine, bring in my plates, and I know you probably can't see this, but you'll see it when it comes out the other end. Sandwich these together, and then I'm cutting the largest circle with our cardstock. I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to bring in the smaller circle, and I am going to use this to cut out the designer series paper. It is not going to fit perfectly, but we don't need that. So as long as it's tight on one edge, it's okay that this is falling off. And you can position this however you want. I think I want more of the horizon and the flowers versus the sky. So I'm going to then sandwich, run this back through, and we are done die cutting. It is a little funky shaped, but I promise you it will still work. I'm going to set my machine down. And now I'm going to bring in my scoring tool again. If you're going to do this in where you're going to be making 5 or 6 of these, I would do each of these steps as you go. I wouldn't jumble back and forth. I just wanted to show you from start to finish. So I'm going to put in my circle. I'm going to tuck it into the corner, and I want to score this at 3.5. So I'm just going to look at the 3.5 inch mark, come down, and score. There we go. So now we can start assembling. I'm going to take my piece of designer series paper, and remember how I said it's okay that it cut this off? Because our 3.5 score inch mark is right here, and this is going to be on the back, so you're not even going to see it. So let's glue this down. So I just kind of want to make sure it is going to be even. And I mean even as like the score mark here when we put it on the card. And I think that looks pretty good. If not, that's where it's going to go because my glue dried. So now you can put this back in your score machine or your school score tool and run this back through again. But I just felt it was easy to just fold at that score mark. And then you're going to give this a good crease. Hello, Stephanie. Welcome. Thanks for joining. So there we go. That is how we are going to get this fun card. And it's so easy to put together once you have all your pieces. So I'm going to glue this 2-inch strip to the side panel. There we go. Now this little flap, you can use tear tape. You can use your green glue. I would only use those two to hold this because it is a little thicker than what we usually do. So I'm just going to put a nice amount, but not too much where it's going to eke out. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to put this right on the edge, kind of centering it between the top and the bottom. Give that a good press and a good hold. There we go. And there is our card. It could have gone over a little bit more, but I'm still happy with it. Okay, so let's stamp the sentiment on the inside. Hello, Mary, welcome. It is Highland Heather. For a second there, I couldn't remember what color ink I got. And I'm going to do my 4 1/4 by 5.5 basic whites. I'm going to stamp this right in the center. I usually don't do sentiments on the inside of my cards, but I loved this saying that I felt it was a necessity. Clean that off because we're going to make one more. Grab my happy birthday. There we go, perfect. And that's all the stamping this card needs. I did bring in my banner Pick-a-Punch again. I actually used this a couple days ago on Tuesday's live. So I'm going to put this in upside down. just so I can make sure it's even. And sometimes I still don't get it even. Well, it's a little close, but we're still going to go with it. I'm going to chop this end off and put this side in. I always forget which side I'm working with. Oh, that was actually pretty good. So now we can just glue these pieces together. And I have another one that is already prepped, so I will put that together for you guys as well. And I have a couple other samples that I have done with this set also. So you're kind of getting a couple cards. There's that. And I didn't bring my little mini Velcro strips, but I will put one on there and it'll help close it. Actually, I could probably just run in. I know exactly where they're at because I used them for today's card class. So I'll just grab it off of my table and we can do it all right now. So I do use kind of crappy scissors when I cut these because they are sticky and I don't want them to gunk up my good scissors. So when you cut these apart, you do need to use not your good scissors. There we go. Let's put our sentiment on. And I really like how you don't have to do a lot of work to this card because the paper does it all for you. So this one I used Melon Mambo, this one I used Highland Heather. So we will put the last one together and then I will show you some of the extra cards that I did with it. So this one's Melon Mambo, just because I thought it was absolutely stunning. It all is. All of this paper. If you have not played with it or if you have not seen it, highly, highly recommend it. So this I am going to put right there. That looks pretty good. While that dries, I will put this one together. And it's a super easy card to do. And I love doing fun folds. I don't do them enough. That. And then let's fold on our score mark. Give it a nice good crease. And I am putting adhesive on this side. Don't put it on the inside. You're going to put it on the outside. And it doesn't matter that it's cut off because nobody's going to see it. And this is a good way to use up your 6x6 designer series paper. You need one piece of designer series paper per card. And really, you need one sheet of cardstock per card as well. So I'm just going to line this up to the edge. And I'm working a little sideways. You probably will be working more sideways. It's just because I have the camera above me that I can't really see so swell. So hold that down. While that is drying, I will bring in our two pieces to stamp on. I'm going to grab Melon Mambo. Stamp the happy birthday. There we go. Clean this off. Grab I couldn't imagine a better friends. So many people I could send this stamp set to, or this card. Very minimal stamping as well. This I'm going to put on the inside. There we go. And let's grab another These little mini Velcro dots I get from Michaels. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell them, and 99.9% of the stuff I use, actually, I would say 100%. This is probably the only thing that I don't use of Stampin' Up! Just because they don't carry it. If they carried it, I would use it. But I love how tiny they are. So slide this in, punch. Let's trim this off. Hi, Peyton. Thank you. That looks, I could take a smidgen more off this. It's hard to hold it. That looks pretty good. We'll leave it there because if I do it again, I might chop too much off and then I'll be irritated. But it's just paper, right? And that one I am just going to put right there. You could definitely sprinkle some rhinestones on here if you want to. I didn't, but you definitely can. I just love the simplicity of this card, the wow factor of this card, and the beautiful designer series paper. I swear we do have the best paper. So there's those three. And I wanted to show you a couple others that I made with it. This one, this is the same designer series paper, and I matted it on Highland Heather, and I did Melon Mambo again, and I colored the wheelbarrow and the boots in Melon Mambo, Old Olive, and Highland Heather blend pens. So, oh, I didn't put this piece on the inside, but I thought that one was definitely fun. And this one, I just wanted to do something very simple to highlight the designer series paper. So I brought in some of our dies, and this fit perfectly in this small banner, the stitched banner, and it says every day is a fresh start. So I love that with all of the flowers and the tree behind it. So there are a couple extra cards that I did in and doing our Facebook Live. So you have a few samples. If you haven't gotten this set, now you have some samples to make once you do get it. I did put a link before I went live for my Stampin' Up! Website, so you can definitely order there, or feel free to reach out and I can definitely help you as well. So that is your guys' fun live for tonight. I will be back on Tuesday for another live. So if you need anything from now till then, definitely feel free to reach out. I will be pretty much busy all day Saturday, but I always have time to answer a quick message saying I will get back to you. Anyways, if you need anything, let me know. If not, I will see many of you guys for next Tuesday. Chat with you soon. Bye-bye.